Put on your helmets and buckle your chin straps for the wildest podcast held in the Steel City. Dubs and Chidkenhawk will give you a taste of the past in fried jumbo.
We're ready to roll here. January 3rd, episode number 36.
37.
37. Thank you, Luke.
Welcome.
We were scheduled for something today, but Todd's sick, and then our guest couldn't make it either. So it's going to be me and you, boss.
All right. Nice. Let's see what kind of trouble we're getting into.
Yeah, we'll have to just... I have a couple ideas what maybe we could talk about, but... I think we'll have some fun here. Maybe tell some stories about back when I graduated high school, what a bunch of friends and I decided to do for the summer to get some work. So, we could talk about that.
So, you graduated in 1985 from Norman High School. So what did you do after the summer?
For the summer, it was one of them things where back in 1985, there weren't any jobs. You couldn't get a job anywhere, really. It was just when the economy was not real strong. So, you had a hard time making any money locally here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So
what we decided to do was a bunch of buddies and myself, we were all going to college. Well, some, not all of us, but most of us were headed off to college in the fall, and we needed some money saved up over the summer to use as spending money at college. I was going to Allegheny College up in Meadville, and other folks were going different places. I can't remember where everyone was going, but we decided I know what it was. Ricky Thomas had been in touch with someone back home and said that, there was some work in Florida at this hotel that they were demolishing in Hollywood, Florida, which is just south of Fort Lauderdale, like 10 miles. So, at that time, minimum wage was like $3.35 an hour, right? But this place was paying $4 an hour. And if you worked more than 40 hours, you got time and a half, which was $6 an hour. So for us, that was like $1 million, right? Yeah. So we all decided, I don't know how we all got down there. I'm trying to think. I think we flew on People's Airline or something. It was an old airline that you paid $99 cash when you got on the plane. Yeah. It was, they would come around and actually collect the money from you.
Really?
Like you didn't get ticketed or anything. Huh. You'd go on this plane and, they'd come around. It looked like a UPS plane. It was yellow and brown. And they called it People's Airline. And they'd come around, collect $99 for you. And that was your one-way fare to get to Florida. And then you flew home for $99 when you wanted to come home. So we didn't have any return plans. We were going to stay the whole summer and work at this hotel called the Attaché. It was
the
called.
Attaché.
Yeah. Pretty weird name. Yeah, French.
What does it even mean? Do you remember?
I'm not sure what it means, but it was a shithole. It was probably built in like the 30s or 40s. And we were tearing it down, basically. We were living in half of it, and we were tearing down the other half. And then once we got that half tore down, then we were going to tear down the half we were living in, and we'd have to go find somewhere to live. So basically, we got to live on the beach in this hotel for free on one side of it. On the other side, we were just demoing it.
Yeah.
Just taking sledgehammers and pounding out all the windows and all
Eventually, you'd have to pound out your own room.
Yes. So we knew that was ahead of us, but we figured that wouldn't be till the summer was over, and we'd be gone by then. So we figured, because it was going to take a long time to demolish this place. So we figured we'd at least have the summer, and when they wanted to demo the other side, and we'd have to go get a room, we would be out of there by then. So it made some sense there.
Okay.
Yeah. So we all load up, head down the Attaché on People's Airline, and it was me, trying to think, Scott Milne, Jeff Frank, trying to ring a bell here, Billy Llewellyn, Michael Llewellyn, who we had on here, Lex.
Yeah.
You remember Lex, right?
Yes, I do recall him.
He was my roommate down there. It was me and Lex. And then I think Billy and Jeff were in a room, or Billy and Scott Milne, I'm not sure. But anyhow, I'm trying to think who else was down there. Maybe Mark Allison was there for a bit, and a couple other guys came in and out of there. But yeah, our buddy Rick Thomas, who told us about it, he actually went home right when we were getting down there. So he might have been there a couple of days, and then he packed up and went back. And then we took over down there and started working. So there's a picture here that we'll show everybody. It's me and Jeff Frank. Jeff's in the headband, which is, I'm thankful for that now that he's actually with the headband and I'm not wearing the headband because headbands aren't too cool anymore. I guess back then that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wearing a headband, bandana.
Rambo style.
Yeah, Rambo. Exactly.
Yeah.
So here's, we'll show everyone this picture. It's funny. But right after this picture, literally 5 minutes, in the picture, you can tell Jeff's actually somewhat prepared. He has work boots on. And it's a construction site. And I guess I wasn't thinking it through. I'm in a pair of sneakers.
Sneakers on a construction site.
Yeah. Well, you not thinking you're a kid. You're like, hey, let's get to Florida and have fun and go to work. But yeah, I have sneakers on. And it wasn't 5 minutes after we get this picture taken, I stepped on a nail that was in a board, like a 2x4.
Oh.
And it went up all the way through my foot and out the top of my shoe.
Oh, like in Home Alone. Yuck.
Yeah. So I'm there 5 minutes and, it's time to go to the hospital already to get a tetanus shot. They can't do anything for the foot.
Yeah.
Because it just got to heal up or whatever.
It's the germs you got to worry about.
Yeah. So they give you a tetanus shot. But I've actually had a hole that went through the bottom of my foot and out the top.
Is it still there?
No, it healed up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'd go in the ocean after work every day and soak it and stuff.
Oh,
and
so that felt better.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I bandaged it up and all that.
Yeah.
Put Neosporin on there. But yeah, that was 5 minutes in injury. I do remember Jeff maybe a couple days later, he was hitting some stuff with a sledgehammer and a piece of wire from like rebar went through his finger.
Oh.
And it went like in here and out the other side. And he was speared by this piece of metal through his finger. So it seemed like every other day one of us was getting banged.
What do you guys have in the way of PPE, personal protective equipment?
Oh, there was none of that. We were working in an asbestos-filled place.
An asbestos-filled wasteland. Yeah.
Wasteland, chopping it down without masks on.
No ventilators, no...
Nothing.
Nothing.
No mask, no ventilator, no protection, no hard hat.
No hard hat, not even the courtesy of a hard hat.
No work boots, nothing.
Should be damned.
Yeah. Yes. But it was $4 an hour.
And that was good in 80s money?
It was good money.
Ah.
And we all worked like 80 hours a week. So we would get, like $4 an hour for 40 of those hours. And then you get $6 an hour for the other 40 hours.
Oh, okay. So they paid you more later in the shift or
during the week.
Okay.
As soon as you did your 40 hours, every hour after 40 hours was time and a half.
Okay. That's
so
cool.
They pay you $6 an hour.
All right.
So we were making good money, having a lot of fun, going out every night, drinking and carrying on and that kind of thing. Had our own hotel rooms right on the beach and, having all kinds of different fun down there. But anyhow, let me think about a couple stories I wanted to tell you about that place down there. Let's just say Florida. I don't care where they say it is. In the summertime, it's like pure hell. I mean, it's 105. 100 degrees.
Fire and brimstone.
Fire and brimstone, baby. I'm telling you, you're cooking. They say, "Oh, well, you're on the water. It's not that hot." No, it's hot. It's humid. You're pounding sledgehammers. I think I went down there at about 205 pounds or something. And when I finally got home, I was 161.
What, you sweated out?
I lost like 40 pounds and I had to go to football camp at Allegheny College in September. In August. So it was quite a hot fest. And we didn't have any air conditioning because it was all demoed.
Yeah, all demoed. Plus, this is from the 30s, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't really have AC.
They didn't really have it. And Mike and I decided, what we did was we went to the laundry room and they had this great big fan, like the old laundry room, like a big fan to try to keep the laundry room dry.
Yeah.
Or less moist and blow some of that hot air out of the laundry room. We stole a fan out of there and we bolted it to our to our door, or not to our door, but to the front of our hotel room. And you turn this thing on, it had to have like a 1 horsepower, 2 horsepower engine. I mean, our sheets all night long would be going. That was the only way we could sleep because it was so damn hot. But we had that fan blowing all night long, and everyone would come to our room to, have fun or drink or whatever, because nobody had the fan. Mm-mm. We had the only fan in town.
The only fan in town. Hot. Yeah. It's like Party Central.
It was a weird scene because we weren't the only people there. You see,
more crews.
Oh my God, there was tons of people that worked there and lived in that thing. So we had, at that time, there were a lot of immigrants coming in from Haiti and Cuba. They were relocating to the United States, and there was just tons and tons of immigrants that were doing construction work because that's what they could find.
Yeah.
So a lot of the folks we worked with were from Haiti or from Cuba, or it might have been from, some other background. Some of the guys we worked with were recently out of prison type fellas.
Yeah, that type.
So it was a pretty interesting dynamic. We had one fellow called the Carney Man. We'll have to talk about him later. That in the 80s, no one had tattoos unless they were in the military.
You bet.
And if you're in the military, you had tattoos related to your military service, like USMC, or you might have something along those lines that showed that you did military service or in different parts of the world.
All right.
Things like that. But there weren't too many regular Joes walking around with tattoos. And the one guy we worked with, the Carney Man, we called him that because he worked in carnival circuit he did 20 years in a carnival circuit.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Like
like the Total Whirl.
Yeah, that.
On Joe Dirt and all that. Ever watch that movie?
I'm familiar with the idea. Like, you got the guys on the turtle wells.
Yeah.
You got the guys on the game booths.
Yeah.
Always regular.
Yeah, he was the guy who ran one of those, rides that you would go on to
a ride,
at the thing.
It's like stuff at the fair, yeah.
Yeah, but he had done some time. I think I don't know how much time he did, but quite a bit of time in jail. And he was tattooed from head to toe, like the face, arms, whole body, everything.
Everything.
And they weren't like regular tattoos. They were the prison tattoo kind, where they, not as good artistically.
Yeah, we had a guy like that at one of my work, so it was a very interesting sight.
It's just different. That's all.
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. But he was a great worker. We had a lot of fun with him. But it was kind of crazy down there with some of these characters that we would be hanging out with. You never knew what was going to happen down there. So I might as well tell you a little bit more about the Carney Man, I guess. Well, people that are watching this, I don't know if they know Scott Milne or not, but if you don't know Scott, he's one of our good friends from Norwin and a hilarious guy. He's really funny and a little bit crazy, but in a good way, the best way possible, of course. Love him to death. So anyhow, but he's a practical joke guy.
Yeah.
He just loves to, mess around and crack jokes and stuff. So I don't know how we came upon this situation, but Scott found these peppers. He was in the Publix grocery store.
Publix.
And this is, by the way, we ran into Rodney Dangerfield in Publix one day.
In a Publix, really?
Oh, yeah.
John Eagle of the South.
Yeah, and he was doing like his whole bit and stuff. Like, hey, last time I saw a mouth like that, I had a fish hook in it. Because we were like, hey, Rodney, and he started doing jokes and stuff. But yeah, we ran into him down there. Burt Reynolds one time. But anyhow, Will Chamberlain ran into him in a bar down there. Oh yeah, crazy. But anyhow, I digress. Back to Scott with these peppers. Somehow he liked hot food, and he found these peppers. And
what kind? Scotch bonnet, ghost pepper?
It was something along those lines because we had never seen it before.
Yeah.
And I guess he put one on a sandwich one day and it like buried him. I mean, it was so hot that, he was just down for quite a bit, from this pepper. I mean, down. It's just crushing him. So he ended up devising a game.
Oh?
Yes. The game was, there was all these empty hotel rooms. So we had this one hotel room that had a TV, like we would watch TV in there and we'd drink beer and stuff in there. He devised this game where he put 3 empty beer bottles on top of the TV. And me, him, and Mike would be drinking beer. And when you finished your beer, you had to throw your empty beer bottle at one of those 3 bottles on top of the TV. And if you hit one of those bottles, you were still allowed in the game. If you missed one of those bottles, if you missed it, you lost. You were the loser of the game. And you had to eat one of these peppers.
Ooh.
Unbelievable. So, needless to say, you didn't want to miss. But the more alcohol you had in you, the less faculties you had. So eventually someone was going to miss. And I swear.
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. And sometimes we would miss and hit the TV set and throw the bottle right through the TV. The whole TV would blow up. I mean, like, because it was a tube.
Yeah.
A big square. Back then, they weren't flat screens.
Yeah, they were
big
tubes. We had one of ours was a tube at one point.
Yeah, oh yeah, when you were little. Yeah. We had all tube TVs. But you didn't have to worry because there was a room full of TVs. Yeah. Because so you just take out one, throw it in the garbage, go get a new one. So we didn't. This was such a weird scene,
Yeah.
So anyhow. So I don't know. I know I lost one time, and I just never remember. I couldn't remember ever eating anything worse. Like when you ate it, your night was over.
Yeah.
Because you would have to drink 20 of these to get the pain to go away from that one pepper. So I imagine it had to be like one of these ghost pepper type deals, or I just know it had like foreign label, like it was unreadable label. So I don't know if it was what part of the world that peppers came from. But
nowadays they come from these like Frankenstein type botanists.
I don't know where it came from.
They've gotten hotter over the years.
Oh yeah, they make them worse and worse.
Pepper X is the leading one, I think, and it burns like hellfire.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I mean, I've never had anything close to it ever then or since. So we would be playing this game, and I don't know, we did it several nights in a row down there at the old attaché. And one night, the carny man comes walking in to our room. And I told you, he was real lean. I mean, I might have weighed like 115 pounds. I mean, just so skinny. Maybe like 5'6", 5'7", something like that. Long hair, not washed very much ever. And like I said, the whole tattoos, and he didn't have any top teeth.
Mm-mm.
He just had some bottom teeth.
Yeah, like a
couple of them.
Yeah.
So obviously quite a character from a way he looked, but also the way he talked, because he would talk like this. Hey, what you guys doing?
Right, no front teeth.
No front teeth, yeah. So he talked kind of strange, obviously.
Like no teeth in the front, or just like the whole top jaw?
I don't think there was anything up there.
Oh.
Like no teeth up top. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why, but he didn't have any that I remember.
Any on the bottom?
Yeah, a couple.
Okay.
Couple.
At least you got a couple.
Yeah. So he comes in and he's doing his corny man bit, and he's drinking. He said, "What you doing? What game you playing? I want to play." And Scott's like, you don't want to play this game. It's not for everybody. He goes, but Scott says, "Hey, I got a deal for you though. If you can eat 3 of these peppers, we'll give you $15, $5 a pepper." So $15, I know it sounds like nothing now, but back then it was a lot.
I mean, if you guys got paid 4 and that was good money, then imagine what 15
Yeah, it's like 4
is.
hours of work. Think about it, because
Yeah.
you'd $4, $16 taxes, you're getting out 13. So there's like 4 hours of work. He's like, give me those peppers. I'd eat that so fast your head will spin. I love hot stuff. There's not a problem. Not a problem at all. So Scott's like shaking with excitement because he knows how bad this is going to be. And Scott loves to terrorize people. So he digs out the 3 peppers. He gives it to him. He's like, he's gumming them down, and he's like, swallows them down. Nothing. Told you. Nothing. And then I'm like, wow, that's amazing, dude. Here's the $15 or whatever, and we all dig in our pockets for $5 a piece. So we give him $15. And as we're getting the money out, you could see him like starting to, react.
Delayed effect.
You're starting to see the effects of the volcano that's about to hit. He's doing a couple twitches and shaking his head a little bit and making some weird sounds and things. And Scott's starting to like giggle a little bit and bust. He's starting to bust out laughing. And then he's looking at us, and you could just see like the red just ripping straight up through here, up into his neck, and veins popping out. All of a sudden, like water's pouring out of his eyes. And then he touched his eyes, and he had pepper juice on his hands.
Ooh.
And he burned his eyes. And now it's full-fledged. He's become a maniac right in front of our eyes. And literally screaming and yelling every curse word you can imagine, runs down the hotel hallway, and off he goes. And you got Melanie cackling like a maniac. He's laughing so hard. Mike's laughing so hard. We're literally laughing so hard.
Pack of hyenas.
Like a pack of hyenas. We're like, oh my God, we got him. That was unbelievable. And Scott, what a great idea. You're the man, we're telling Scott, because it was so funny to see this. He was so sure that he could eat those peppers and not have a response. Well, he has a hell of a response. And the rest of the night, we're carrying on laughing and just reliving the whole thing. And we ended up going to bed, or maybe I can't even remember exactly what happened, but I don't know if Scott was in our room or where we were, but I think we all slept in that room and we were playing that damn game at.
Yeah.
And the room was set up like you came in the door this way, and then the room was here, and then there was a window, a great big picture window here that looked out to the ocean, and it was on the second floor. So there was like a patio out there.
Yeah.
But the patio ran the whole length of the hotel like that. Okay. So it wasn't like separated by railings or anything.
Okay.
It was just a whole thing you could walk on out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what time it would have been, but it was barely daylight when you just hear this kaboom, smash. Our picture window gets smashed out of our hotel.
Yeah.
Where we're sleeping, glass comes flying all over all of us.
Never a good sign.
Not a good sign. So we're like, holy shit, I thought it was like a thunderstorm. You're sleeping. You're like, what the hell could it be? It's got to be a thunderstorm or something, or maybe something from one of the wrecking pieces of equipment down there wrecked into our place by accident or whatever. And here it was like a brick come flying through it was a brick that went through our window. And I'm like, what the hell? So we go to the window and we look, and there he is, the Carney man. He's down on the first floor, like down in the courtyard there. And he whipped this thing through a thing. And he's like, we're like, hey, what's going on? He goes, you MFers, you're going to die. I'm on fire. So we're like, well, what are you talking about? He goes, well, from those peppers, you guys got me sick. I had to go to the I had to go to the liquor store and buy 2 bottles of JD. I chugged them down. And now you're going to pay for what you did. I'm like, pay? Okay, so he broke our window. Big shitting deal. We'll go get another room, right? So by now he's running up the steps and he's coming up to our room, right? On the outside where the window is. And I'm looking and he's coming through the glass window. Now, meanwhile, there's glass shards still in there, but he's plowing his way through there and he's literally slicing himself to bits.
Oh.
Like a horror movie.
Yeah.
By trying to get in, you know? And he's cutting himself all over. I'm like, oh my God. And he's got this ice pick. He basically made a shiv.
Yeah.
A giant shiv out of a 10-penny nail and like a piece of wood and tape. He goes, I'm gonna kill you guys. He comes flying into our room. And we're like, you're like not awake, right? You're like, oh my God, what am I gonna do here? So the first thing you do is throw your friend in front of you so, so you can shield yourself. So we're all doing that like Three Stooges thing, like, and then we're like, oh, there's a door. Let's run through the door, right?
But yet your first thought was the meat shield.
Yeah, the meat shield. Yeah. So literally, we open the door and we start running down the hall. We're going to get in your room, everyone. The guy's out of his mind because now he's covered in blood, like everywhere. His blood, head to toe from going through the window. And we're like, oh shit, what are we going to do? So literally, it's a Three Stooges movie for the next 10, 15 minutes. He would chase us down the hall. We go up the steps over this way. He's keep coming. Chase. Then he would stop and he'd circle the other way and we'd be running this way and he'd pop out somewhere else and I'm going to kill you. You're never getting away. So when you're getting chased by somebody with a knife or whatever, you would think that you would do better with your thought process, where you would maybe just hide in a room and lock the door and call it a day. But we actually did what they do in horror movies. We just kept running around like aimlessly, like idiots.
I can never call those movies unrealistic again.
Yeah, you can't. Because you watch those things, you're like, oh, what morons. Why wouldn't they just put their back to the wall somewhere, lock the door, and then the dude comes in, hit him with a hammer or something?
That's easy to say when you're not the one in the trenches.
Right. So we're doing this thing for quite a while. And finally, we're on the side that we're demoing. He ran us out of where we were, and now we're in it was a 4-story building over there. And we're up on the 4th floor, and we're running down the outside of this thing that faces the ocean, okay, in the courtyard. And from being demolished, there was like a door that was halfway on the ledge and halfway off the ledge. And we're running, and we all know don't step on the right side of that door, because if you step on the right side of that door, it's going to go like this, and you're going down on the pavement below, 4 floors. We stay on the left side, and we run by it, and we ran ourselves sort of like into a corner.
Oh, boy.
And here he comes, and now we're trapped. And we're trying to get the one door open to get inside one of these rooms, but they're stuck or whatever. They're locked. And so anyhow, he comes running down. He's so drunk. He's so out of his mind. He has blood everywhere, so he can't see real good. He steps on the door that's on the wrong side of the thing. And I think, oh my, I'm going to watch a man die right here. Door goes up like this. Flips, goes head on the ground. That guy's in the air. He catches his fingertips on the ledge. Just his fingertips now. And he's hanging there by his fingertips. And then what's going through your mind is, should you kick the fingertips? I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to kill somebody or anything. I know he's trying to kill me, but, I'm not ready for this. So he's hanging by his fingertips, but he's so skinny and wiry that he's managing to hang on, right? So we're just standing there, and no shit, we're like, what do we do now? Should we help him up? Next thing you know, he's the knife's sitting there on the ledge. We don't even pick the knife up, the shiv. We're just staring at him in awe while he monkeys himself back up onto the thing.
Yeah.
picks up the knife.
Oh, you had your chance.
We had our chance.
You had your chance to just chuck it.
We could have kicked the knife away or something. We didn't do it.
Panic's a hell of a drug.
It's a drug, yeah. So we end up like ripping. I think Mike or someone kicked the door to one of the rooms off the hinges. So while he was climbing up, I think Mike was the only one using his brain, or Scott or somebody. I know it wasn't me because I was just staring at the dude. So anyhow, we got in a little escape route through this door back into one of the hotel's rooms, and we run out into the hall, and he's falling. Now he's right on our ass. I mean, like breathing down our neck. We're running. So we decided, you know what we got to do? We got to run out of this building. So we're going to go down to the first floor, head to the lobby, and then run straight down the damn sidewalk or to the Diplomat Hotel or something, somewhere where we could go where there's people.
Yeah.
So that was the plan. So we're running. We go down 3 floors, down a stairwell. We go down the lobby. We're flying across the lobby there. And as soon as we get to the lobby there, we run past it, and there's all these police there. And the dude ran out, and these police got him and took him down. I guess the boss, someone went and told the boss that some maniac's trying to kill us on the job site. So they called the police, and they were ready for us. When we go running by, they get him. They take him away. They put him in handcuffs. They put him in a police car. And all I could think about is Scott, for 3 peppers and for $15, this guy went to prison for trying to kill us. All because of Scott being a jokester.
So you mentioned drinking alcohol to try to get the pepper spiciness out. Do you know what the real cure for that is?
Milk.
Milk, yes. So this whole thing could be the most legendary commercial for Got Milk ever.
Yeah, that's what we need to get a hold of those people.
Yeah.
The United Dairy Association. Aren't they the people that do that?
I think so.
Got Milk campaigns?
This is the reason you got to drink milk, folks. That's why your parents are always saying drink your milk.
Yeah. One thing we would have never had would have been milk.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing, we didn't have anything to eat.
No refrigeration, probably.
No, we had those little hotel refrigerators. But we were at a point in our life where milk wasn't important. Mm. Everything was beer. Yep. And things like Cheetos and fried jumbo down there. Because lunch meats was our only way of eating, basically. We'd go to Publix or Albertsons and get lunch meat. So... But we weren't eating any, there was never any milk in the house, unfortunately.
So drink your milk.
Drink your milk.
It's cow milk, goat milk, plant milk. As long as it's milk, you'll get ready. The spiciness out and won't go on a crazy rampage.
Yeah, you won't have, put somebody basically doing time for a joke that Scott pulled. That Carney, man.
Oh, boy.
And now as I'm older, I feel bad because, we kind of wrecked his life. Although he didn't have to choose to try to stab us to death. He could have done something more reasonable. Like maybe just walked up and punched us or something. Or not even that. I mean, he's the one who he got paid. Yeah. He did it was too hot.
Yeah.
That's all could be said.